Hello, everybody. Welcome to Build Fly Go. So, as you could guess, there's more doors going on this week. My guess is we've got maybe 2 more weeks, maybe 3 more weeks of doors, and then we're done. But we're making excellent progress. So, the right door, as you can see here, we're doing final trimming for the McMaster seals. The McMaster seals are the aftermarket seal option or modification to the plans that you can do where the seals are actually on the canopy as opposed to on the doors. They look very different. Personally, I like the look a lot better. My understanding is that they seal a lot better as well. The downside, of course, is it is a lot of extra work. It's not a little extra work. It's a lot of extra work. I'm guessing we're going to do an extra maybe week or two of work just to get these seals to fit properly. It's not a big deal. It's not hard. It's a bit dusty, but it's just following, sort of following the process. There's a few good sets of instructions out there on how to do this, and it's no big deal. So one of the things involved in that is you have to make pockets for the hinges on the door side so the seal can sit against something flat. So one of the things that many people do is they buy these aftermarket hinge nut plate brackets, and I've decided not to do that. Those are really expensive, and you don't need them. So I have drilled the door side hinges for nut plates themselves. These are steel hinges, a few extra number 40 holes, and they are going to not make a difference at all in the structural strength of that hinge. Edge distance is fine. No big deal there. So I did that. That was a big, well, maybe not a big part of this. And now that all of that is drilled, I do have a batch of things to prime, right? There's always sort of things laying around that are waiting for a primer batch. And that finally came around, so we got to prime some parts. I'm hoping, suspecting, wishing that this might be one of the very last. As soon as I say that, I know that there's another thing I need to prime. This might be the second to last set of items to prime on the RV10. Probably not. But it's getting cold in Wisconsin, and I'm really hoping not to have to set up the prime booth. In fact, I don't know that there's going to be space for the prime booth to be set up this winter. So one more set of things to prime, maybe. So I should maybe quickly get through that. The other thing going on here is I am finishing up the install of the door locks, door latches, right? So we're added the plane around 180-degree latch, which adds the little cam in the middle. And we've also added the Aerosport low profile door handles, which just change sort of the mechanism a little bit, and the outside door handle looks a little different. It's sort of lower profile. It looks a little sleeker. So those things are getting in. The right door is basically done. You'll notice I'm putzing around with that. And you will also notice that the extended range tank, the right extended range tank, is on the table there, getting pressure checked. We decided there's a whole saga around these tanks. The welding wasn't great on them. You've probably seen this topic come up on Van's Air Force and some of the other forums. The welding wasn't great on them, and we decided to have a local welder touch everything up and redo some of the welds. And he did a fantastic job. But because we're using different gas caps that were pro-sealed in place, the Pro Seal got burnt off a little bit with the extra welding, and so we had to do a little bit of extra Pro Sealing there to clean that up. Not a big deal. It looks like they're set to go now. So the last thing that I'm doing here, there's a lot of lasts coming up. The next thing I'm doing here, you can see me putzing with the door. I'm installing the canopy side door latch guides, right? So they're the little pockets that the door pins go into. There's a lot of back and forth here to get that just right, because you want the door to sit nice and flush and to pull in properly, right? Like you want the door to be level and pull itself in nicely. So there's a little bit of back and forth there. Basically, it took us a couple of hours and all done. And the right door now closes really nicely. It's a little tight, but I think that's how I want it right now. I'd like it to be a little tight as opposed to a little loose, and it'll loosen up as it gets use. And so now we're moving on to the left side. The left side was a little behind, so I had to cut the gaps down for the McMaster seals. The McMaster seals need to be gapped about 1/4 of an inch. And here we are on the right, sort of cutting out some fiberglass and closing those door pockets. Good progress this week. We hope to get these doors done probably in the next month. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you folks soon. Alrighty, so the right door is all set. The door latch works. The door mechanism is all in place. The guides are in place. And it just works as expected. We're pretty happy with this. There it is. Pretty nice.